What's going on, guys? Today we are making a very simple, delicious ice cube tray Reese's cup. Sounds a little crazy, but it's gonna be one of the best things you ever eat, I promise. And then we're doing it in the ice cube tray because it just makes the stacking, the layering of the chocolate and the peanut butter and the chocolate easier, and then you can just store it right in the freezer because that's where you're gonna wanna keep them. As far as the chocolate goes, we have two routes, actually more than two routes, but two we're gonna show you here. So we have Lily's baking chips. So these are already sweetened with stevia, which is a low carb sweetener. And this is what we're actually gonna be using today. We like these, we have these on hand. They're great for mug cakes, they're great for chocolate chip cookies, just snacking on. And you can get these pretty much anywhere now. So Whole Foods, Publix, Kroger, Sprouts. So I've actually seen them everywhere. Lily's is growing. And then another route is to just go 100% cacao dark chocolate. So this isn't gonna be sweet at all, which if you are gonna use this and you like dark chocolate, that's great. Otherwise, definitely add some liquid stevia, maybe even a little erythritol, both low carb sweeteners, and you'll have a really good Reese's cup. What we're gonna start with is melting down our chocolate. So we're gonna do 1 cup of Lily's chocolate chips. And when I was getting these, I saw that they have milk chocolate, dark chocolate, they have white chocolate. They have a lot of different flavors, so you can go really any route. Okay. When it comes to melting down this chocolate, we've tried it a couple times right in the microwave, and you can do it in bursts and probably melt it down, but it can burn easily if you're not doing a double boiler method. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add a little bit of coconut oil, and that'll just help like smooth it out and melt down without burning. Tablespoon would be good. That'll add like a nice little hint of coconut as well. So now we're just gonna melt this in the microwave in bursts. So let's start with 30 seconds and we'll see where we're at. So here we just did 30 seconds, you can see, and like you can see some of the chips melted down where the coconut oil was. So I'm gonna give it a nice little stir, and then we'll pop it back in for another 30. You wanna be patient with this. Here we are, another 30, so a minute total. And wow, that is nice and creamy. And you want it really smooth because when you pour it into the ice cube tray, you're gonna want it to just coat all the sides and not just like all drip to the bottom. To ensure that it doesn't just drip all to the bottom, we have our ice cube tray actually in the freezer so that when we put the chocolate on it, it's cold, and ideally it'll just like firm up right away. And then just another tip on the chocolate, if you overheat it, if you just microwave it, it could separate out. So that is where also the coconut oil comes into play and helps with not separating. Okay, the ice cube tray is fresh out of the freezer. So we are going to coat. So my bad, I should have probably just made it in the Pyrex, but I'm gonna transfer it to here so that it's really easy to pour out. Okay, I'm just gonna pour a little out in each. Move this around. And you can also get in there with a spatula. It doesn't have to go all the way up the sides, but just high enough so that you can fill it with peanut butter and then pour some more chocolate on top. And then if this seems like a lot of work, and it is, but worth it, you can also just melt the peanut butter and the chocolate together. So you won't have the layers, but you'll still have that delicious Reese's peanut butter cup flavoring, and just pour it into the mold. That's definitely gonna be the easier route and the quicker route. Okay, so it's not pretty or perfect, but it'll get the job done. So we're gonna pop this back in the freezer real quick since the chocolate was hot, the ice cube tray is no longer cold. 5 minutes, and then we'll get the peanut butter ready for the inside. For the inside, we're gonna do a classic peanut butter center. I am going to actually melt this down just a little bit. So we're gonna do a little over 1/4 cup and then melt it down so that it's really smooth when I pour it into the mold. 64, 70-ish grams. Okay, so that was 30 seconds. So let's see. Yeah, see, a little smoother when you mix it up. So while I fill the mold up with peanut butter, I am going to put the chocolate right here back in the microwave so it can melt through again and get a little more smooth so we can pour over the top. So now I'm just gonna dollop a little peanut butter in each. Okay, so the peanut butter is filled up, and all that's left to do is drizzle on some chocolate to finish these off. Now I'm gonna get in here just with the spatula, do a little quick, or you can just do a little shake. Ooh, perfect. So now we're gonna pop this back in the freezer, and you're gonna wanna let these set for a couple hours at least. I remember we made these before, we pulled them out because we were impatient and they cracked, but they were really tasty and hard. So I would say give it like 3 to 4 hours, but maybe we'll be back in 1 to 2 and then we'll see how they're doing. We have let these Reese's cups sit in the deep freezer for about an hour. Definitely not long enough, but we are very impatient. So Matt did the honor of cracking these for me because he's a lot stronger than I am. And you can see that they will split a little down the middle. They didn't sit long enough in the freezer, or maybe they always will if you're not using a silicone mold. So if you have a silicone mold, that'll work a lot better. You can pop them right out. We were able to crack these and they stayed together anyway. So I just used a knife to pop one of these out. And yeah, that looks great. You can see a little peanut butter there. Perfect. So never mind. I just flipped it over and 2 perfect ones popped out. And so definitely the key here is to make sure that the walls are thoroughly coated all the way around, because the chocolate is what's going to stay together and form that outer shell so that when it pops up, it doesn't break, such as this, or you don't just get that bottom of chocolate, but they're going to be tasty anyway. So now that we have some out, we can try these. Wow. Just so good. And I love that it's cold. Do you guys remember those, like the ice cream Snickers and the ice cream Twix bars? Those were the best. We ate those all the time in my house. This is just like that, but low carb, healthier, and great for kids. Like this is something we'll definitely give to Theo on like Halloween nights or holidays, or just, anytime he wants candy, this is the perfect treat. So check out the link below with the recipe, the step-by-step, and different options as far as molds go. Silicone's gonna be easier, but sometimes this is just the best route because it's what you have on hand and it works great. Let us know if you make these and what you fill yours with. You can add some nuts, you can add some berries, some frozen berries would be really good. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.